I'm gonna cool it, keep my fingers off any sell buttons on my wallet anywhere, and just trust this crazy run I think we're about to go on. So my question to T-Bull here and Zappo, what do y'all think with just as JS pointed at the top of this space, we breached 100K BTC without Trump being in office. His very sympathetic view on crypto, and it appears that he wants this to be an integral part of the U.S. economy. I mean, do we see? I mean, prediction here. Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball, but do we see an extended bull market due to just sentiment towards crypto changing? Guys, I'm on. I do some nonprofit, for-profit raising, capital raising. I met with this guy who's 84 years old. He is a real estate mogul, made a good living, and he said, "I've got, my grandson told me about crypto. I've got 300K sitting in a Coinbase account, and I just don't know where to put it." And it's like that stuff is wild. And I mean, I do think more and more people are becoming less and less fearful of this is a legitimate asset class to make real money. And I was telling him, I'm pretty disenchanted with my job right now. He's like, well, dude, just do crypto full time. And I'm like, Bill, do not tempt me. So, anyways, would love to hear y'all's thoughts.
I'll go first. I mean, look, it's we've all been in the cycles long enough, right? Where when you look at these cycles, and this one's a little bit more interesting because it's the first time, like you've already mentioned, where there's a lot of force behind the crypto space in terms of making it more valid. I remember a time where I used to talk to people about Bitcoin or tell them to buy Bitcoin, and they would just think it's a scam. They would be like, "What is this?" They didn't really understand what any of it was. And I remember forcing a lot of people to buy Bitcoin. And I also remember forcing people to buy Tron back in the day. And now, funnily enough, as soon as Bitcoin's hit 100, I'm sure all of your phones are probably blowing up as well. You have three kinds of people contacting you at the moment. Number one, people who obviously you've spoken to about crypto, they've never done anything about it, and now they're asking you how to buy Bitcoin or how to buy crypto, which is, I mean, it's over 100 now. Then you have people who you helped buy crypto a long time ago, and they've either forgotten how to get into their wallet, and they need your help to get in and see what's left in there, and all of that kind of stuff. And then third, you have your exes contacting you, telling you how much they miss you. Because Bitcoin's on £100,000 now. So you have those kinds of people contacting you, which really tells you what the market dynamics is at the moment. It's interesting because you're right, and my personal view is exactly the same. We will get a very elongated bull cycle this time round. Why? Because the pattern's been quite repetitive over the last few bull cycles, and there's probably going to be a huge tendency potentially even with a lot of veterans in the space who would think, right, okay, this is generically where we would expect the top to be. They'll probably exit, and the markets will probably pump for a lot longer and a lot higher, which might then create a lot of FOMO. And at some point, it might pull back at that stage. But I think we will see a much longer, elongated cycle, and especially from a Bitcoin perspective, I think it will hold a much higher floor, even if it does track back, just because of all the attention Bitcoin now currently has, and how much limited the supply is becoming as we have just been moving more and more forward, right? And that leads into how do we see the wider crypto market becoming? And I think, like, it's quite obvious, generically speaking, at this time of a normal cycle, you would expect a massive, massive surge in a lot of the alternative side of the crypto. And you can see that, and I think JS has already mentioned that. You can see it from BTCD, so the Bitcoin dominance, that's really starting to pull the other way now. And I do personally believe this will be the first cycle now where Bitcoin dominance will see an all-time low as well, because I think a lot of the alternative coins like XRP, like Tron, like some of the other ones will significantly overrun, and people will not expect that Bitcoin dominance will basically get lower and lower, and a lot of liquidity will flow into a lot of these other chains. Why? Because they're creating something that's essentially real world implication, whether that's Tron, whether that's XRP, or whether there's other basically some of the bigger chains, and that in turn will obviously help the wider marketplace, whether that's memes, whether that's anything else that's been built on those chains. I think we got a potentially a lot to look forward to, and we probably have a little bit more time than what we expect, I think, from my personal view.
Yeah, and I mean, I think everyone up here and everyone in crypto is full of hopium and bullishness, especially with Trump getting elected in office and knowing where Bitcoin is going. Even in the past month, I believe it's been basically a month, November 5th. Yeah, so since Trump got elected, and he's not even in office yet, and we're already seeing Bitcoin above 100K. Um, I mean, it'll be interesting on how next month and the next couple months with U.S. Sort of cleaning house. SEC, Gary Gensler is going to be out. They hired someone new, pro crypto friendly regulations, and I believe that U.S. is sort of a leading is a leader in the market. So you even hear about China sort of taking off restrictions of Bitcoin. I have a friend who's in China, and he talked about how Bitcoin at 100K became news in China, right? And we're talking about mainland China, not Hong Kong, right? So I think that's really impressive to see. I have relatives in Korea who are talking about Bitcoin. So I think, everyone, I think all of the other countries, they're starting to take notice now that Trump is in office and he's being very vocal about crypto. So, who knows who knows how high it's going to go, right? But I think in terms of the whole cycle, I do think it goes much longer. We'll see when altcoin season really starts to turn around, with Bitcoin consolidating a little bit. But we're already seeing like double digit days for a lot of alts. I think even today, obviously this past week, we had a 3 digit move. We had a over 100% move on TRX, which is insanity. So I think we're gonna slowly start seeing these different alts take their turns, and hopefully, in my opinion as well, not only alts, but I think memes are going to slide right in, right? Whether it's the Doge, the Shiba, the large cap meme coins, I think those will really start running, and I think that's when the full on meme coin season is going to happen. Obviously, right now we've gotten a Coinbase listing, a Robinhood listing for Pepe, Dog with Hat. So I think it's going to be really exciting moving forward, and even bringing it back to TRX memes and Tron memes in general. I think we're at the cusp of really building the foundation. I know the OGs here have talked about building this sort of Web3 community on Tron, and I think that's going to be really important for us to make sure that we host weekly spaces. We make people aware that there are not only communities that are building, but also teams that are really putting in the effort to make sure that Tron memes continue to perform well. So it'll be exciting on how the next Q1 Q2 looks like. But I think I think we're all super bullish here.
Yeah, great points. I really do think Uh, Tron's day is yet to come. We're going to see a lot more fireworks here in the incoming quarters. And I think liquidity. I talked about ad nauseum, and yeah. There's got to be a day where we're not talking about liquidity, but it's obviously important. If people are trading our tokens on chain, it just brings more eyes to the chain. So going back to looking at the OGs and what they've the infrastructure that they've set, kind of the groundwork that they've set. I was mistaken about Suncat. There was a cat on Tron back in 2018. Sun Pump has really been a really great platform for us to get eyes on our project. But reaching out to that first cat meme and saying, "Hey, you guys are awesome. Thanks for holding down the floor here at Tron." I really am anti PvP. Like it's really bothered me over the last couple months when things start running really hard. And I think like I've said, I think in every space, it's just natural for the human being to be so wrapped up in the momentum because when you're running hard, I mean, we've run 92% this week. And when you're getting that kind of momentum, people that had been blowing you off are now wanting to talk to you, different exchanges, different KOLs, whatever. And it's really easy to kind of lose sight of the army that's around you that have been in the trenches from the beginning. So yeah, would love to hear kind of T-Bull, Zappo, like what y'all would like to see with older memes and maybe that weren't launched on Sun Pump going forward, how we can continue to build this Web3 community that's, something that's exciting for people to trade on. Dude, I was in the Solana just game for so long and it was just so exhausting. Can't tell who's real, what's real. who's in it for the right reason. So, anyways, would love to hear y'all's thoughts, and then Sunny D and Trav would love to hear what y'all would like to see for kind of the new cats on the block.
Yeah, I mean, I can jump in for this one. I probably every conversation space we've had, I've brought it up, but I think something that could benefit, not only older, OG tokens, but these newer memes is building infrastructure around Tron, right? Obviously with Ethereum and Solana, the meme coin sort of mania has hit both chains, right? So in terms of development, it's really come very far, right? Even with Solana, I remember, trading one of the first meme coins, not one of the first, but when the first wave started happening with Bonk, Samo coin, it was difficult, right? There was no infrastructure. You had to go to Radium. You had to type in your own slippage. You had to connect your wallet. It was very there was a lot of friction, right? It was difficult for new investors, degenerates to get into that, right? Even for someone who was in crypto for a while, it's just annoying. And I think right now with Tron moving forward, I believe that like getting better integrations, whether it's wallet support, whether it's a Phantom integration, whether it's having a burn mechanism that is work, just adding more support in that way, I think would benefit, all meme coin projects on Tron, but also it'll attract a whole new audience where they see, okay, there's a new, bot being built with Zappo. Obviously, they're doing the bridge protocol, and that's going to be really beneficial moving forward. But I think if you look at these existing wallets and applications that are on Tron, it's quite lacking, right? And I think we're still very early in the meme coin cycle. I think there's still a long ways to go for meme coins in general, but specifically for Tron memes. So I think it'll be really exciting to see how, whether it's Justin Sun, Tron DAO, some Pump, Zappo, all of these teams, how they continue to develop products that bring these investors, these traders, and wanting them to not only bridge on Tron, but I think more importantly, holding their profits or assets on Tron, right? Because I think right now the biggest issue we have is with every pump, people are taking out profits to bridge to Solana or Ethereum. And to be fully transparent, the R to R is better, right? The risk to reward. There's more chances to win on other chains because there's more volume, there's more activity, there's more bonded tokens, whatever you want to call it. So I think moving forward, that is something we need to double down on. We all here, all of us here are huge fans of Justin Sun, and I think without his sort of support and his vocal support of memes, I don't think many of us would be really building on Tron. But I think more than just one individual pushing Tron, I think as an ecosystem, definitely having better dApps is gonna really help all of us.